And welcome to News Today. My name is Kamini Nyamani. Over the next hour, Ghana Water Company Limited says it hopes to restore supply of water to Accra West soon. Also ahead, World Gold Council latest gold demand trends report shows fourth quarter gold demand was 3,756 tons, valued at $170 billion. Also to come, International Organization for Migration says a plane carrying relief supplies in South Sudan crashed Monday, killing one crew member. Forensic audit report on Malawi's cash gate scandal has been delayed again, this time until March 18, and Malawians are not happy about it. I'll bring you details of these stories and plenty more over the next 60 minutes. Don't go away. This is Joynews Today with me, Kamini Nyamani Emmanuel. Ghana Water Company Limited says it hopes to restore supply of water to parts of Accra by close of the day. Communications manager of the Ghana Water Company Limited, Stanley Mate, told Joynews Desk the shutdown of the Wager Dam is due to repair works on the N1 highway.
Currently, PON is functioning effectively and producing at full capacity. But Wager is down. Wager is shut down because of the repair work on the N1 highway. And we are just about nearing completion of that job on the N1 highway. When that is done, we'll start production immediately, and then we'll hope that there'll be much improvement in the system before PON goes down on Monday. Wager is off. It's been off since yesterday, and we are nearing completion of the project, and so for production to start immediately. Barring any technical hitch at this last minute, production should start before midday. So we are hoping that by close of day, we should be able to charge the line so that some areas will get water. We are very hopeful that by morning tomorrow, all areas within the western part of Accra should have access to water. For every shutdown we do, we have a minimum of 2 days prior to the shutdown, unless, of course, it happened unannounced or unceremoniously. So we kept people informed 2 days before we shut down. We shut down Wager so that we could have that improvement done. Now, this job that we are doing on the N1 highway is supposed to improve on the situation before PON is shut down on Monday. Okay, it is a line that we are repairing so that we can push more water from the western part of Accra to the eastern part of Accra, specifically to our Congo Reservoir for onward distribution within the eastern part of Accra. This current project that we are undertaking on the N1 highway is part of the measures because it will enable us pump more water from the western part of Accra to the eastern part of Accra in our Congo Reservoir for onward distribution within the eastern part of Accra. So this is one of the measures. Now the other one is the rental of private water tankers, and then the Bureau of National Investigation and National Security water tankers, okay, have also been also on board, including the Ghana Water Company Limited fleet of tankers. Okay, so we have enough tankers to provide water to people within that catchment area. But the thing is, if we are using tankers, we still will be unable to supply every household. It is not feasible. It is not feasible for us to be supplying water to every household within the eastern part. It is not feasible. So we wouldn't promise anybody that. But what we are saying is that from now till the time, you need to store some water because the lines are going to go up for only 3 days. But I'll still say that the period of the shutdown will be such that if you store enough water, you should be able to survive. And that is why we have given consumers enough notice so that they will be able to store in water over the period. We are also in touch with the country so that the number of days that will be used with the number of days that we use for the interconnection will be reduced. It means that contractors are going to work on shift without any break till the job is done. So until the job is completed, the contractor will not leave the site, and we are hopeful that they should be able to finish ahead of schedule.
The Ghana Health Service is expected to table a motion before Parliament which will see community-based health planning and service or CHIPS compounds increase the amount of services they render to their clients. The motion, when eventually passed by Parliament, will among others make CHIPS compounds NHIA-accredited institutions. CHIPS compounds have been identified by government as critical in the achievement of Millennium Development Goals 4 and 5, which seek to reduce maternal and infant mortality by half by the year 2015. Yafusua James reports.
The Ghana Health Service, together with its development partners in 1999, approved the use of community-based health planning and services, or CHIPS compound, as a means of making primary health care accessible to all, particularly those in rural communities where access to health care is often non-existent. Government has since bought into the idea of the CHIPS compound. There are currently over 600 CHIPS compound providing healthcare services to people in the country. But the Ghana Health Service says it would need more than the current number of CHIPS compound if it is to adequately cater for the health needs of the population, adding even the proposed 1,600 compounds will not still be enough.
So the 1,600, we are looking at the committees giving support, we are looking at these assemblies, and then the central government. So sometimes from here to we plan, project, and then try to see where we can get from our budget. Health partners come in and they are prepared. We'll get, but they are not even enough. But for the most important thing is that getting health workers working with the community in all electoral areas so that nobody is lost.
But not all are amused about the idea of the CHIPS compound. President of the Ghana Medical Association, Dr. Edusei Poku, says instead of government spending resources to build CHIPS compound for the various communities in the country, it should also channel some of the resources into building clinics for the communities.
I even heard that they are putting up CHIPS compound to reduce maternal and neonatal mortality. It is not the truth. Even not any other doctor can even reduce neonatal mortality, more so CHIPS compound. What the caliber of people there? Some of them, we must take the politics out of those things and call a spade, and then manage our health systems properly. Yes, the CHIPS compound may help, but not at the level that politicians want to talk about everything. I think the CHIPS compound is a panacea to our healthcare system. I don't think it's the.
Whilst the debate rages on in the health sector, government appears to be standing by its belief that the CHIPS compound are the best way to provide reliable health care to the ordinary Ghanaian. As a result, the CHIPS compound would soon be added to the list of National Health Insurance accredited institutions.
Now the formula, they alter it, and a lump sum will be given as a performance-based financing to those people at the CHIPS zone as they go around, so that we make sure that they've actually gone to look at the people. And those who've been discharged from hospital, they actually follow them out to ensure they adhere to their medication.
Officials are now looking up to Cabinet to prepare the bill and forward it to Parliament to enable it pass a law that makes CHIPS compound a key institution with access to the National Health Insurance Scheme. Yafusua James, Joynews, Accra.
Let's stay on health, this time at the Konfanochi Teaching Hospital, where the Deputy Minister of Health is appealing to doctors and nurses there to return to work. A report by Mahmoud Mohammed Nuruddin.
The doctors and nurses withdrew their services as a result of irate youth who stormed the hospital to demand the body of a baby, dead or alive. The workers fear the youth will return, and they are demanding adequate security at the hospital to protect them. The Regional Police Command has since dispatched police personnel to the facility to provide adequate security. Currently, security at the hospital has been beefed up, but the doctors and nurses are yet to resume work. Deputy Minister of Health, Dr. Alfred Sugritia, has appealed to the doctors and nurses to resume work.
the Ministry of Health, we want to appeal to our doctors and nurses to return to work. The situation on the ground now is stabilized. After hearing from the Deputy Regional Minister about the security arrangement on the ground, and after seeing the number of security personnel, both in security uniform and those plainclothes people who are around to support, to make sure that no attack occurs again, I think it's enough for the doctors and nurses to feel safe to return to work. I am convinced that the services that are rendered here, a lot of people benefit from it. Very high qualified people work here, extending all types of very useful services to improve the health of our people. If you withdraw your services because of a single incident, so many people will be affected. And it's not in our interest to allow that to happen.
He promised the matter would be investigated. Deputy Ashanti Regional Minister Samuel Yawidusei also appealed to the media to be circumspect in their reportage.
As it is, shouldn't add anything, because otherwise it will inflame passions and it can cause a whole lot of problems as the police carry out their investigations. So the minister, the deputy minister, with the nurses and the doctors, and that soon they will resume and then render their services as they used to do. So please, let's see how we carry it, because the issue spans around mismanagement of information.
The deputy minister and his entourage later visited some of the wards in the hospital, which were mostly empty. Mahmoud Mohammed Nuruddin's report.
There's more on this when I return. Don't go away. I'm glad you could stay on. While the Ashanti Regional Police Commander says it has beefed up security at the Komfo-Anokye Teaching Hospital, doctors and nurses are yet to return to post and accept new cases at the Labour Ward. We are joined by Atani Goodman from the Ministry of Health. We understand that a meeting was held between the Ministry of Health and the authorities of the Komfo-Anokye Teaching Hospital. We'll bring ourselves up to speed with exactly what happened. Hello, Tony.
Yes, madam.
Thank you very much for joining us on News Today. But what entailed at that meeting?
Yes, thank you very much. Yesterday, we left Accra early morning to the Ashanti region, specifically Kumasi, where we went straight to the regional minister's office to meet with the deputy minister to at least brief us what the region has already done and what they are doing. The deputy minister really gave us updates on what was happening, how security issues were also discussed. Then we moved straight to the hospital. We were met with heavy policemen who are on duty at that moment. Everywhere you go through that hospital, there are police presence there. And then we went straight to management meeting to discuss the issues with management. Management told us, yes, police have been cooperative, they've assisted them enough, but their staff, which are the medical workers, are not ready to come back to work. So we requested to meet them, and they were arranged for us to meet with them. So we met with them, and they told us that this is supposed to be just management issue. We needed not to travel from Accra to Kumasi to come and discuss this issue. And this is just it's a small issue, literally, as they said, that they were going to deal with it. So we were assured that they were going to go back when we leave it. The president of the Doctors Association there assured us that they are going to meet and then quickly to return to work. So we were told this morning that that did not happen. They are still on strike. And then we thought that it's unfortunate as a ministry, because we were expecting that we would have gone back to work whilst we also looked into the report that was submitted to the ministry. Then we can now assist the police and be able to work together.
But
so that is where we are now, my sister.
Is this really just a caste issue and needed not an intervention from the Ministry of Health, and hence the Ministry of Health accepted that excuse from caste and left the matter?
Maybe you did not get me right. What I mean
Perhaps.
is that the group said their strike did not demand the ministry to come and talk to them, because they were ready to even return to work. They were going to discuss and go back to work until we came. But nonetheless, since we are there, they will listen to us. They assured us that they were going to go back to work. They see how important the ministry see their work. And for that matter, we've traveled all the way from Accra to come and talk to them. They really appreciate that. And they were going to meet their team members and discuss and go back to work.
Very well. So they are not at work. What now?
Yes. That is the situation we got. They cited some security reasons. The management of Confanoche, together with the Ashanti Regional Security Council, met this morning. They are still in that meeting. We've also planned a meeting over the weekend to look at the report that the committee submitted to us. We have to go into this report. Where there are criminalities, we need to quickly involve the police. We are going to implement some recommendations in this report as quickly as possible. We believe that is going to also help in solving this situation. We're not going to shield anybody. It's going to be drastic. It's going to be hard, but we need to take it as it is.
But
so yes,
Tony,
yes.
You visited the hospital. Yes. You told me minutes ago that indeed you were met by heavy security presence. Yes. Are they still justified to use security as an excuse to stay away from work?
With that, they requested, when we were told that they requested that, and the region thought the policemen there are enough, but they've raised other concerns that are being looked at. It was security reason that was cited initially when they were going on strike, but now they've cited other reasons, and the Security Council is trying to sit and look at it and see whether it is feasible or it is so important for them to...
What are these other concerns that have been tabled?
Some concerns like providing maybe the old facility, what do we call that, former maternal and child building that was started around 1970. They demanded that building should be completed. They also demanded some security arrangement for some of their workers. They also demanded some kind of what we call work, some incentive as far as work is concerned. And we are really working at some of those things already. When you look at the building, we've already sent some money there, as we were told in the media. Some money has gone in there. The team is also looking at it. So some of them are regional issues, and the region is looking at it.
I see. I understand the line is patchy, and so we'll leave the conversation here and continue at a later time, perhaps in subsequent broadcasts. Thank you very much, Tony. Tony Goodman is PRO for the Ministry of Health. Let's move into other areas now. And a member of Parliament for Yagaba, Kubori Yusuf Mustafa, has appealed to government to consider adopting the newly created Mamprogo Muaduri district in the northern region as a model district in order to channel resources to the area so it will become better developed.
The Mamprogo Muaduri district, carved out from the West Mamprusi district, is the only district in the northern region with all of its communities yet to be connected to the national grid, making many government employees, like teachers and health workers, unwilling to be posted there. The situation in the area is worsened because the district is cut away by the white voter. Yusuf Mustafa made the appeal after presenting a Mercedes-Benz ambulance valued at a cost of 31,000 Ghana cedis to the Mamprogo Muaduri District Health Directorate at Yagaba to improve health care delivery in the district. He said his promise to stop pregnant women from being carried on motorbikes and other discomforting means to hospitals during labor still holds, and he will work towards that.
I'm present here to
as I present this ambulance to you, let it be that the days where women and our elderly and children have to be carried on motorbikes to Walowale, to Sandema and faraway places is over.
District Coordinating Director Mahama Bukari Mumuni, on behalf of the District Chief Executive, said the district is facing a lot of challenges, including education, health, and the lack of social amenities. He noted that the presentation will solve some of the many problems in the health sector, especially maternal deaths and other health issues. The residents of the area shared their frustrations with Joynews on the difficulties they endure in accessing health care in the district.
I'm very happy, and then this day has been a joyful day because in the assembly we discussed about getting an ambulance from the district, and then later we had one, and then later on it was breakdown. So getting transportation to hospital, because we don't have a functional hospital in the district, so it was very difficult to get. When someone is in labor, especially the women, when they are in labor, it's always difficult to get to it. When there's an emergency, there's no means to transport the people to the place.
The New Patriotic Party will on April 12, 2014 hold its National Delegates Congress in Tamale in the Northern Region to elect national executives. Aspiring National Youth Organizer of the party, Richard Nyama, is here with me in the studio. We'll talk about his bid over the next few minutes. Thank you very much, Richard, for joining us on News Today.
Thank you.
But what makes you think that really you could emerge as the National Youth Organizer? We have Michael Ampon in there, we have Samuel Ewuku, we have Gifty Owari in there.
Thank you very much, and good afternoon to your viewers. I have what it takes to organize the youth of this country. I have a track record organizing the young patriots of the NPP, and it's there for everyone to see. Besides that, you take my background and my experience and profile. I'm the only one among the candidates who speaks 9 Ghanaian languages across the length and breadth of this country. There's no single region I'll go in and can't speak at least one language. I have a master's in political science, research in particular. So when I come out with stuff, you realize that, no, this person is just not a rabble-rouser. He's got what it takes. He knows what he's saying in that direction. Beyond that, I am bringing programs that are specifically targeting attracting the youth to the NPP, because we've always had this issue that the NPP is not attractive to the youth. But I think it's down to strategy. The youth wing of the party has not been up and doing. And so I have some 3-4 prong approaches or strategies that would en masse bring the youth of this country.
I'm happy you mentioned that, because for us on the outside, that seems to have created a disconnect between those at the top of the party's hierarchy and then the youth who are perhaps below, you might want to call the grassroots level. What is the strategy that
the strategy is that the youth leaders of the party over the years they are supposed to be the connection between the hierarchy and the grassroots. But on taking office, they themselves assume that bourgeois attitude, and they get stuck in a crack.
Why do you think people do that?
Oh, it's more or less a status symbol. They do not see the job as a job to do. So that if you are a grassroots person, someone who is down to earth in yourself, before you get to the office, naturally you carry that along. But when you seen out there as bourgeois, very big, untouchable, nobody can have access to you, they call you, you will not pick your phone calls. I don't think when you become youth organizer, you're going to pick anyone's calls.
So if it's a status symbol, what makes you think that you, Richard, when you become national youth organizer, you won't take on that status symbol?
Number one, the experience that I have had is that I've always been with the grassroots. Organizing young patriots, nobody has paid me a dime to do that, and the work there is there. But the programs I'm bringing are also grassroots based. We have 275 constituencies across this country. Each of them has a secondary school. we have some 400, 500,000 people each year turning 18 and getting ready to vote. We don't have a specific program to attract them. Mine is this. The number one dream these people have is to pass their education, their SSM, go into the next level of education. Strategy is this. Very simple, doesn't require money. 275 constituencies. We select one secondary school each from these constituencies. And that becomes a gathering point for all secondary school final year students in that constituency. We will provide you free extra classes just to prepare you for your examination. We have a lot of university students who are MPP members. They are on holiday and their talents are being wasted. These kids are on holiday. Let's gather ourselves around and teach them. Let them, through that, have a legacy. When we start preaching that MPP will bring you free education, there's an example to show that whilst they are even on holidays, we are preparing them for their examination. And the point is this. When they gather there, and you are giving them MPP materials and inculcating certain things into them, you are free to do so because you are not in the strict sense in a secondary school where the GS rules will prevent you from going. We have TESCON members. What do we use them for? These are avenues where you get them working. And then the little they may get when they go back to the uni, they will use it to pay their fees. When we come into power, these people will be the first to be considered for any further studies.
But that also means that it will cost you some money?
It wouldn't. The school is free. The school building is there. The students who are the raw materials are there. The teachers are there. They are also living in the constituency.
These same people you described as bourgeois, you're sure the bourgeois people will come down and come and teach?
No. I'm not saying that the secondary school, if you are a university student, naturally when you vacate, where do you go? You go back to your place of abode, your constituency. And I'm saying that these people are available to take on these things. You necessarily just need to take the chief examiner's report and a few exam questions, take them through, give them some lessons here and there in maths and English and science. I'm a professional teacher by qualification. And I've at least taught through from primary school through to the university level. This is not rocket science. You need to have a project or a program that is consistently on annual basis attracting people to you. For me, this is a gathering point for the youth who are idle during holidays. If we do this every year, and this is going to be a permanent program of the youth wing of the NPP. Look, set that aside. When we go to vote, at the end of the day, we talk about the NDC having stolen the verdict. We would have to shift away from that. We have 20 people who are at the polling station level we have employed as executives. They are 15 appointed, 5 elected. I intend to use these people to go around polling station by polling station. They would create their own register. Because if you are living within a polling station, you have not more than 800 people living there who are eligible to vote. We list this. Every year we update it with the new entrants who are about 18. By 2016, we have our own register. If we go to the elections, and Afarajan brings a list for polling station A, and there are 600 people there on his list. I have my list, it has 400 people. Straight away, I know there are 200 people I should be looking out for before we vote that do not belong there. We need to have innovative, very inexpensive ways of coming to power. And these
Richard, I'm happy you mentioned that, with the school project you hope to embark on. If you're preaching free senior high school, then that will be proof. But free senior high school didn't get the MPP into office. Is it not time to change the name of the game?
No, because the free senior high school was not properly communicated. If we get this started, these same secondary school kids will go and tell their parents that free senior secondary school is in progress. I'm enjoying it. Meanwhile, they are in opposition. So if they come into government, it is possible. It's doable. The only thing the NDC did to counter it is that it's too expensive. They can't do it. Where are they going to get the funds? But if we had this as proof in 2012, I don't think we will be where we are.
Thank you very much, Richard. Richard Nyama is aspiring for National Youth Organizer for the NPP. And we'll do some business news when I return. Don't go away. I'm glad you could stay on. Let's do some business now. According to Ghana Shippers Authority figures, Ghana recorded over 21.5 million tons of maritime trade at its two ports in Tema and Takoradi in December 2013. This was made up of about 16.5 million tons of imports and 5.0 million tons of exports. The figure represents an increase of about 10.7% compared to 2012. The data revealed that ports Tema handled more than 77% of the total trade, which amounted to 16.7 million tons, while the Takoradi port handled the remaining 4.4 million tons, representing 23% of total trade during the period. Total imports for the review period was 10.4% more than was obtained in 2012. Total export also increased by about 11.7% over the 2012 tonnage. Imports for the review. Economist Kwame Pianim says the interventions announced by the central bank towards shoring up the local currency won't work. The Bank of Ghana announced a string of forex control measures towards saving the cedi from further falling against the dollar. It has also injected about $100 million into the forex market to strengthen the cedi against major international currencies. The cedi has lost about 12% in value since January, and Kwame Pianim describes the bank's interventions as a blip and said the measures will fail. In the final analysis, the Bank of Ghana measures will simply be a blip, and it was a panic and it will not work, Mr. Pianim predicted. According to him, it's happened before. Administrative controls regulations have never worked in Ghana. He warned that the measures will rather have adverse consequences on the economy in the long run. The World Gold Council latest gold demand trends report shows fourth quarter gold demand was down 29% on the same period 3 months of the previous year. It placed full year 2013 gold demand at 3,756 tons, valued at $170 billion, and down from 4,415 tons in the previous year. Outflows from exchange-traded funds and lower central bank buying resulting in total demand falling 15% below 2012 levels. Exchange-traded funds outflows totaled 881 tons, while central banks added just 369 tons to reserves as heightened gold volatility and slower foreign reserve accumulation tempered their appetites. The World Gold Council said Chinese consumers set a new annual consumption record, while Indian demand was resilient despite import restrictions. It said gold jewelry demand was close to pre-crisis levels and investment in small bars and coins hit a record high. Annual gold supply fell to 2%, with a decline in recycling outweighing mine production growth. Let's talk auto biz now. European auto sales rose in January, their fifth straight month of gains, and industry reports has shown. Tuesday, as the continent's mass market automakers led a modest but broad expansion, the European Automobile Manufacturers Association reported new car registrations, a proxy for sales, and it rose 5.5% compared with January 2013. Sales were led by Volkswagen, Renault, and PCA, Peugeot, Citroën. The January figure, largely in line with expectation, added to growing confidence that Europe's auto market is expanding. That's it for business. When we return, Baba Tando will bring you some sports news.
Good afternoon, I am Baba Tando. Time now to talk the latest in the world of sports. It's proudly made possible by Tigo and Carbell. The Volta region has increased the number of football teams it has with the inauguration of a Division 2 club. The club, known as the Juji Royal Face Football Club, according to its chairman, will among others help promote the town of Juji and bring development.
Ultimate aim is to rise through the rank to play in the Ghana Premier League in the next 3 to 4 years to come. We had 30 players for our first season in 2012-2013, in which we won all league matches, including the Sub-Middle League. Unfortunately, we failed to qualify for the first division, but having come through so far, we are confident of utilizing the experience of last season to our advantage to this season in our bid to move the notch higher.
Ghana FA boss Kwesi Nyantakyi has assured absolute safety for the Black Stars, having settled on the reportedly notorious city of Maceió as the team base camp for the World Cup in Brazil. Concerns have, however, been raised over the safety of Maceió, with some reports in the media describing the place as the third most notorious city in Brazil in terms of crime. But the GFA boss believes these reports of heightened crime lack the requisite credibility.
We visited Maceió during the draw in December. We went to the hotel, that is Radisson Hotel, where the team will be based. We slept there for one night, and so we had a feel of the place. We went to the training venue, we saw it, we went around the city. It's not a bad place, it's quite okay. There were rumors or reports of incidents of violence. People said it was the most violent city in Brazil. It may be so, but during the period of World Cup, you agree with me, security is stepped up to a level, crime is almost non-existent. Prior to the 2010 World Cup in South Africa, we had reports about the level of crime in South Africa, but during the World Cup, we never heard about these incidents of crime. And so I can assure you that FIFA has put adequate measures in place. The government of Brazil has put adequate measures in place to contain all threats to security. Our team will be in Maceió. We'll be moving from Maceió to play our matches in Natal, the first game. We'll be moving from Maceió to play our second match in Fortaleza. We'll be moving from Natal to play our third match in Brasilia, and the necessary arrangements have all been put in place.
Let's talk Champions League now, and Zlatan Ibrahimovic scored a brace as Paris Saint-Germain took a huge step towards the Champions League quarterfinals with a convincing last 16 first leg win over 10-man Bayer Leverkusen. Still talking about the UEFA Champions League, and Barcelona coach Gerardo Martino insists his side's Champions League tie with Manchester City is not over, despite the Catalans' victory at the Etihad Stadium. Now, Barca won the first leg of their last 16 clash 2-0 after City had defender Martin Demichelis sent off. At the Emirates Stadium later tonight, English side Arsenal play host to German leaders Bayern München in the first leg of their last 16 tie. The two sides met in the same stage of last season's competition, with Bayer winning over 2 legs and going on to be crowned European champions. Also coming up tonight at the Stadio Giuseppe Meazza in Italy, AC Milan will be doing battle against Atletico Madrid. Hopefully we'll see Sule Muntari and Michael Essien do battle for AC Milan. And on that note, I wrap up on sports for this afternoon. It's kindly brought to you, or it's probably brought to you by the kind courtesy of Tigo and Cowbell. My name is Baba Tando.
Thank you very much for staying on News Today. Elsewhere, British forensic audit report on Malawi's Cashgate scandal has been delayed again, this time until March 18, and Malawians are reacting to the delay with anger. The report is expected to detail how more than $250 million of taxpayers' money was looted from government coffers between April and September of last year in what is known as the Cashgate scandal. This is the third announcement of a delay in 3 weeks. Government authorities assured Malawians earlier that the much-awaited report would come out January 29. A press statement released Tuesday by the National Audit Office, however, said the latest delay is as a result of the need to ensure that the audit report meets international standards. A spokesperson for the opposition Malawi Congress Party, Jessica Bwila, said the delays are an attempt by some top government officials to walk free from the allegations of involvement in the scandal. The International Organization for Migration says a plane carrying relief supplies in South Sudan crashed Monday, killing one member of the crew. This fatal crash was the 28th Mercy flight since the International Organization for Migration began its air operation on January 31. Since then, International Organization for Migration chartered cargo planes have delivered 154 tons of emergency relief supplies to thousands of displaced people in parts of South Sudan most seriously affected by the country's ongoing crisis, including the towns of Malakal, Bor and Bentiu. International Organization for Migration spokesman Chris Lom said this flight was carrying drinking water, hygiene, sanitation equipment, medicine and shelter materials to nearly 3,240 internally displaced people at the UN base in Bentiu. The United Nations reports thousands of people have been killed and more than 850,000 displaced since fighting between the government and rebel forces erupted in mid-December. Meanwhile, South Sudanese opposition forces have pushed into the center of Malakal, the capital of the country's main oil-producing state, and taken control of parts of the town after fresh fighting erupted there early Tuesday. The fighting in Malakal was the latest breach of a ceasefire agreed to at the end of last month. Fighting erupted near Malakal last week, just as pro- and anti-government sides were beginning a second round of peace talks in Addis Ababa. A delegation from the African Union will, on Wednesday, begin assessing the political and security situation in the Central African Republic as part of the continental bloc's efforts to return that country to constitutional rule after a one-year transitional period. AU spokesman Eloy Yao says the AU team will be joined by a group from the United Nations to assess the humanitarian conditions there following the violence that displaced hundreds of thousands from their homes. The new transitional government and the CAR has a year's mandate before a scheduled vote in 2015 to return the country to constitutional rule after Michel Djotodia led the Saleka rebels to overthrow Francois Bozizé's government last year. Well, in showbiz, self-acclaimed dancehall king Shatta Wale has lashed at the Ghana music industry. He has described it as misleading.
Shatta Wale on Valentine's night thrilled many of his fans to hot dancehall tunes at the Kolegono beach to mark the celebration of love. In the course of his performance, Shatta paused and lamented on how he feels sad for Ghanaians because they have been lied to all these years by the stakeholders of the Ghana music industry.
If I perform that, I cry because Ghana people lie you people too much. Say Ghana music industry, bumbleclad. Give me a chocolate.
When we checked, bumbleclad means foolish. So the question is, does calling the music industry foolish solve any problem, if there is any? Or does calling the fraternity he Shatta belongs to foolish makes him an intelligent person? We'll try to find answers to this question from Shatta in our subsequent news item.
If I perform that, I cry because Ghana people lie you people too much. Say Ghana music industry, bumbleclad. Give me a chocolate.
You're watching News Today. In our closing headlines, Ghana Water Company Limited says it hopes to restore supply of water to Accra West by close of day. The World Gold Council latest gold demand trends report shows Fourth quarter gold demand was 3,756 tons, valued at $170 billion. International Organization for Migration says a plane carrying relief supplies in South Sudan crashed Monday, killing one member of the crew. British forensic audit report on Malawi's Cashgate scandal has been delayed again, this time until March 18, and Malawians are not happy about it. Thank you very much for staying through this morning. News on MyJoyOnline.com. My name is Emmanuel Nyamani Amano. Goodbye.